As you take this class, I want you to think about your goals for the class. What do you hope to achieve, to perform, to do as you take this class? There are several ways that you can set goals, but we're going to go over a system briefly called SMART goals to help you set goals for the quarter, and then you will have an assignment connected to this where you're going to define 2 goals that you want to achieve this quarter. In this instance, SMART is an acronym that refers to a system for setting goals. And an acronym is a group of letters that form a word in which each letter stands for its own word, such as NASA. NASA is the National Aeronautical and Space Administration. So SMART here stands for specific, measurable, action-oriented, relevant, and time-bound. And together this creates a system to help you create attainable goals. Let's look at these letters one by one. The S stands for specific. The more specific you make your goal, the more likely you are to keep working at it, which means the better chance you have of achieving it. So for example, let's look at a couple goals. I want to get a good grade. Everybody wants to get a good grade. Well, most people want to get a good grade. However, this is not specific. What does good mean? Maybe good for you is a C or better, but someone else will not be satisfied with anything less than an A. So good for them means A. Therefore, you should be specific. I want to get a B or higher. This says exactly the level you want to achieve. Another common goal I hear from my students. I want to speak to more people in English. Well, this is not specific. How many more people? How long will you speak to them? Okay, it's better to focus on the English because it would be assumed that you want to improve your English speaking skills. So make the goal specific. I want to speak in English for at least 1 hour a week outside of class. Now you have a specific measurement. If your goal is to get to know people who speak English, then make it specific by saying, I want to speak to at least 3 people a week in English. Okay, or I want to spend 20 minutes in conversation with 2 different people every day. So this is what we mean by specific. When we use the term measurable, we're talking about how you know when you have achieved the goal. So measurable means the measurement you use to determine that you have achieved the goal. Again, if your goal itself is not specific, such as I want to get a good grade, and then your measurement is when I get a good grade in the class, it's too vague. Good is not defined. Good can be different for different people. If you have a specific goal, you can then determine a specific measurement. You can see when you make the goal more specific, then you can make your measurement more specific. So here we have, I want to get a B or higher. Now your measurement becomes when I maintain an 82% or higher in the class. 82% is minimum level for a B. It's a very clear line that shows you how you can determine the goal as being accomplished. The next step is being action-oriented. What actions will you take to achieve the goal? You should list as many actions as you need to take. I put 2 here as an example. I will ask you for 2 in your homework, but sometimes you need to take more actions. So feel free to list as many as you need to take. The same issue with being specific about the goal and being specific about the measurement is true for being specific about the actions. So if you say, I will study every day for this class, or I will take good class notes, that's not very specific. How long are you going to study? Okay, maybe what are you going to study? How are you going to study it? So you want to be specific. And how will you know your class notes are good? You can see here that we have changed the actions to be more specific. I will study 1 hour per day for this class. I will check my class notes with another classmate after each class. So by doing these actions, you then can make sure your notes are good. If they agree with someone else's, chances are you both have done the right thing. If you study 1 hour per day, it's more likely that you will focus for that time and you will set it up in your schedule. and all of this will help you to achieve your goal. R stands for relevant. Thinking about the relevancy of the goal is very important to make sure it's a useful goal for you. If you're doing something that's not useful for you, will you stick with it? Or how will it benefit you? So you want to consider how this goal will help you long term. How relevant is it to your overall purpose? So here, getting a B in this course will show future employers my language and communication skills. Well, that seems quite relevant. You will need future employment, and demonstrating good language and communication skills is a good thing to do for them. Now this goal is taking shape. You have your specific goal. I want to get a B or higher. You have measured it when I maintain an 82% or higher in the class. You have listed specific actions to take to achieve the goal. I will study 1 hour per day for this class. I will check my class notes with another classmate after each class. And you have determined the relevancy. Getting a B in this course will show my future employers my language and communication skills. The last step to consider is how long you will give yourself to achieve the goal. So T in SMART stands for time bound. It is the time limit you give yourself. Some time limits are strict, such as getting a grade in a class is strict because when the class ends, you no longer have a chance to improve that grade. Okay, so in this case, time bound is I will get a B in this class in 10 weeks. However, some time limits can be adjusted if necessary. If you set a goal to lose 5 kilograms or 10 pounds and you've given yourself 2 months to do it and you don't achieve that goal in 2 months, you can decide, I'll give myself 1 more month or I'll give myself 6 more weeks. Or you can decide to let the goal go. It just depends on what goal you're working towards at the time. Now we see the completed goal and you can see how the SMART system works as a whole. The goal is specific, the measurement is specific, the actions are specific, the relevancy is clear, and the time limit is clear. Structuring your goals like this will give you a better chance of achieving them or modifying them to make them work for you.